Hey guys, it's me unmotivated. Ending time octet. You either hate it, you love it, you don't know it. If you don't know it, why are you watching this? I don't know where I want to go with this intro, but I didn't write a script for this video. I'm kind of freestyle, but just give me 5 seconds, okay? Time goes by chaos. That was a great transition, right? By the way, I'm not gonna explain what ETO is. I'm hoping that when you're watching this, you're already coming in with some basic knowledge on what ending time octet is. But yeah, ending time octet, time goes by chaos, is, well, from what I've seen, one of the, on the more confusing side of, like, you know, universes in this fandom. And so, I decided to take the liberty to go and try to explain what on earth is happening. Sorry if this video is a bit cluttered, by the way. As I said earlier, I do not have a script for this. Okay, so let me just set down some ground rules. 1, I don't have a script. 2, I'm not explaining what ending time octet is. And I will explain a little bit of what time goes by chaos is, and I'll try to explain the different universes. Do not expect me to go into depth on what those are, though. Also, there is a good chance that a lot of this is either inaccurate or is made up. And not made up, I mean like, sometimes I will be using my own logic to try to string things together to explain how they work. Okay. So let me just lay those down. Do not take anything I say as fact. Okay. Let's get into it. Okay, so first, to understand what's going on, we need to understand what time goes by chaos is. Okay, so the basic gist is that a universe or a trio or it's a little different than, you know, just an octet, but said universe will go through their genocide several times, not like 1 or 2. They will go through their events again and again until it makes said sands go crazy. And usually it comes with a power boost. This, normally, more often than not, it will involve them either absorbing or killing their gaster. And, like, for example, I forgot the name, but it was a last breath take for Time Goes By Chaos, and I'll pull it up on screen if I remember it, but like, during the events he just ends up killing his gaster and taking his powers or something. So yeah, that's the basic gist of what a Time Goes By Chaos is. So now that we know that, we can get into the pre-log, you know what I mean. Let's just get into it. Alright, so, to start Time Goes By Chaos. So, OG from the original ETO events, either A, I'm not sure what he's doing, I'm not sure if it takes place after ETO or before, but that doesn't really matter. But basically, he finds the old files for Time Goes By Chaos events. I don't know what happened, I don't know the reason that there aren't anymore, but yeah, that happens. And he tries to recreate the event by spawning a bunch of Time Goes By Chaos trios into the void, or, you know, the judgment void technically, but you get it. So these trios consist of KTT, Chromatic Time Trio, Time Goes by Chaos, Murder Trio, Chaos, Chaotic Time Trio, Time Goes by Chaos, and Former Time Trio, Time Goes by Chaos. And he gives them all a certain amount of determination, to the point where they can all, like, reset, okay? So that's basically where the resets come from for this octave. And instead of them all getting along, they all just start killing each other. They all... Sorry, I'm back. I had to pause the recording really quick. Yeah, basically, they all start killing each other. And, I don't know why, but, basic trio stuff, KTT versus MTT. And so, because they're doing this, and they keep resetting before, they fully just exterminate with, each other, as you can guess, OG does not like what's going on with these trios, and so, I don't know if he takes away I think he takes away their power to reset. And he tries to just completely get rid of them. I don't know why he can't just delete them, but yeah, he tries to get rid of them. And he does this by spawning a human, and this human is incredibly strong. From what I know, their name is Kurt or something, K-U-T-R. And they are, from what I know, what's the level of the OG ETO human? I think it's like 1,000, 1,900 something, I forgot. It's that cubed. So, yeah, they are incredibly strong. Now, before these, the events of the main thing took place, of the main octave, there are some side battles. These consist of, okay, basically, we don't know who killed them. It was either the human or they just killed each other. But I think former Time Goes by Chaos, Last Breath and Dust are dead, from what I know. KTT's... No one from KTT died, from what I know. Yes, actually. I think the Karma, the KB from KTT Time Goes by Chaos is dead. Everyone from NTT survived, and what's the last one? Oh yeah, and basically everyone except for Tears in the Rain and Call of the Void died from Chaotic Time Trio. Oh no, and KAB. So Tears in the Rain, Call of the Void, and KAB are still alive. And, well, this is more of a KTT Time Goes by Chaos thing, but before the main battle, the Betrayer and Animal of that trio, they go to fight the human to stall for time, before the main battle takes place. So, yeah, they're dead too. And that is the basic gist of what's going on. Now time to get to the main show. Transition right here. Editing me, put in a transition. Alright, so for phase 1, we have, I will try to explain each of these AUs, not fully in depth, but, we have, Devastating Judgment as Dusk, for ETO Time Goes by Chaos. Basically, there's this universe called Mirrored Insanity. I'm not going to get into that. But at the end of the thing, Dusk and Insanity fuse, and basically this is it. Okay, so this is the fusion. For Last Breath we have ULBR, which is just a take on Last Breath. He has a little more determination. Then we have Tears in the Rain, Time Goes by Chaos. I don't think he has any special powers, from what I know. Hard Mode, Time Goes by Chaos, from the KGT. Oh, by the way, the Tears in the Rain is from Chaotic, Time Goes by Chaos. Hard mode, Time Goes by Chaos. He's normal hard mode, but, you know, events. Karma Chaos, we will get back to him later. Well, no, actually, we could just do it now. Basically, he's insane, okay? So, the normal UKB to where, like, you know, he finds out, oh, I can heal myself with karma, when I take damage, because I have good karma. Basically, he's, well, the one in ETO is not the KTT, I think it's, okay, to be honest, I don't know. I think Karma Chaos might just be from his own universe, but basically, he gets stronger from sacrificing his own allies as a religious belief. That might be wrong though. Because like, so let's take, for example, in KGT Time Goes by Chaos, during phase 1.25, where normally hard mode would sacrifice himself, this time KAB deletes hard mode, to gain his power, and basically his goal was to like ascend to godhood from, you know, deleting his teammates, but okay, you guys understand that by now. Oh, Killer. This universe's one, I think the human that he made a deal with, instead of it being the normal Kara, it was the old ETO one. Then there's Insanity. He's from former Time Goes by Chaos. Basically, he's more sane than the normal Insanity. Like, the events, instead of making him go insane like Dust, yeah, no, he gained more sanity, and so now he acts insane to try to trick his enemies or something. Then, so we did hard mode, Dust, Horror. I mean, there's not much to say about Horror. I think he injected himself with determination. I don't know why. But yeah, he did that. So that's basically phase 1. I don't think there's anything of note that happens during this phase. So we can get into the next one. Alright, so phase 1.25 is, this doesn't really need much explanation, but as from the normal ETO events, Hard Mode, Tears in the Rain, and Horror all sacrifice themselves trying to 3v1 the human, because everyone else is tired. They died. But no, I think we'll just merge phase 1.25 and 1.5. So, you know, they do their shenanigans, and die. And then, in phase 1.5, we get 3 new, AUs. We get Call of the Void, Time Goes by Chaos, from CTT Time Goes by Chaos, and he takes, I think, Hard Mode and Tears in the Rain still to revive them later. And then we get Finale for the Bone League one. So normally in Chromatic Time Trio it would be Animal that's the backup for their trio. But this time around, because Animal's already dead, along with Chaotic Betrayer, no, not well, yes, Chaotic Betrayer, along with, what's his name, Chromatic Betrayer. They use Finale for the Bone League one instead. And then, instead of Ultra, we get Past, Present, Future. I am not explaining Past, Present, Future. Okay, let's get to phase 2 now. Nothing important happens in phase 2. I have had to re-record phase 2 3 times so far, because something keeps happening. The only thing slightly important is that past, present, future gets kicked out. Okay, moving on to the phase 3s. Okay, I think I'm good to record now. So, phase 3s, we will go one by one. First let's do the karmic side. I don't know if there's a chronological order, but there's clearly some kind of order. So, we will start with, we'll go from easy to least easy. ULB. Normal shenanigans, what was I about to say? Oh yeah, so during his phase, Sensational Finale, which is just, I think it's just Sans phase 2, he joins in. He's the betrayer for Karmic Time Goes by Chaos and Chaotic Time Goes by Chaos. So he joins in and ends up getting hit. And loses his arm. So yeah, that is not much happens in his phase 3. Next we will do Cull the Void. Okay. So during his phase 3, he revives Hard Mode Betrayer from the from Chaotic Time Trio, and Animal from Karmatic. And, you know, basic stuff happens, they all wake up halfway through the phase. I would just like to say something really quick. How is hard mode this strong? No one talks about how... So basically, mid-phase, what happens? They're going through their events, and hard mode, I don't know if he crashes out or something, but he, like, splits open the timeline or something, and he falls into the part that he split open. And the blast that he did knocks out Betrayer, and so basically it's just Call of the Void and Animal fighting against the human, and Betrayer is fighting them in his mind or something, or it doesn't make a lot of sense if I'm being honest. And so hard mode climbs back up, and he actually kills the player from what I know, but they revive, which doesn't make a lot of sense, because why can they come back? What's the point in doing all this if they could just come back? But that's besides the point. So, yeah, they end up killing hard mode and Betrayer, and Animal, I think Animal gets slashed, but hard mode keeps the soul, and we will explain why he does later. For the next phase 3 we have is again phase 3. No, technically finale for the Bonely one. What I'm about to say is not going to make a lot of sense. Okay, so just brace it. This is the part where I start coming up with my own, you know, stuff to try to make sense of what's happening. Okay. Okay, so I am personally, going to re-record, well, so I re-recorded that entire thing that you're listening to so far, but I am re-recording this specific part, to explain my theory with how, Anaphylactum and, Overload SSTBO works. So basically, there's a secret phase 3 where it has M87 and again, and then there's finale for the Bonely one, phase 3, where it has SSTBO, Animal, again, and Boneliest. Now you might be a little confused, okay? It just said that there's Agam in one of the phases. How could there be multiple Agams? Because there's also multiple Animals. So, my theory is that there is a bad times all around time goes by chaos, okay? Inside of the judgment void. So, what I think happened is that the Call of the Voids Phase 3 uses Preboot Enable because, well, Preboot Enable, I'm debating between if it's KTT or Bad Times All Around. I lean more towards Bad Times All Around since it would work better with Adam to form Animal Adam, but I do think it could also be KTT because he's revived alongside Betrayer, and KTT, Betrayer, and Animal of course died together holding off the human. So I think the Call of the Void's Animal is from Bad Times All Around. Agam from MH7's Phase 3 is from Bad Times All Around, and Boneliest is from Bad Times All Around, and everyone else is from KTT. That's my theory. And so, for the fusions, Bad Times All Around, Annabelle, and Agam fused to make Annabelle Agam. And you see over here it already has the White Hole Satellite Star fusion. And then, KTT, Annabelle, Agam, and Finale from the Bonely one fused with Bad Times All Around Boneliest to make Overload. I hope that you're looking at this screen, because that's the only way you'll understand what I'm saying. So, yeah, I'm re-recording that whole part since my explanation didn't make a lot of sense. This doesn't make a lot of sense either, but, you know, it is what it is. Okay, back to the video. Moving on to Murder Time Trio Phase 3s. There's Devastating Judgment. I don't think anything I think he just goes Phase 2, which Devastating Judgment doesn't have a Phase 2, but that's besides the point. And then there's Killer. So, his is important. From what I know, his consciousness ends up merging with the old players. And so he becomes more powerful since the old player was like level 1,000 something. I forgot what. So yeah. Oh yeah, KAB's Phase 3. I saved this one for last because it is the most complicated. So, KAB, he, as you may know, all the Gasters are dead. So KAB takes the role of all the Trio's Gasters. As in, like, you know, he's orchestrating everything happening. And so, his phase has two routes. Either A, you go down the normal route where, you know, you fight him, and he ran away from the fight to try to stabilize the timeline due to how chaotic everything is, as in, there's multiple animals, and also hard mode split the timeline during his Phase 3. So yeah, he's fixing all of that, and you go to fight him. Now, during the old Ikkyo, there is a secret phase called Road to Ruin. During this phase, you somehow slash at OG, and basically he just kills you. This secret route is, I don't know why this happens, but I think KB ends up like bugging out or something, and it's a secret ending where I think he's able to solo kill you. So yeah, it's very confusing, but just ignore, that's just one of the endings. Okay, so now we are getting into Phase 4, and this should tie up a few loose ends, and it will make 1,000 more. So, transition time. Yeah. I don't know how to make a good transition. So, for Phase 4s, you fight... no. So, everyone comes back together who we lost. So, M87 is gone. Past, Present, Future's gone. Betrayer and Hard Mode died again, who we picked up along the way. Sensational Finale is here as the Betrayer of the group, technically. So, here's Call of the Void. During his phase 3, he took Anival's soul before it shatters, and during NH7 special fight, he brought Agam there, and Agam absorbs Anival's soul to make Anival Agam, okay? Finale for the Bonely one, of course, he absorbed the power of Kaito Anival, Reboot Agam, and Boneliest, so he's in his overload state. And here's what I mean when I said KB is the Gaster of the group. So, because ULBR's Gaster is dead, technically, KB creates, using his powers, a Gaster for ULB to use, so basically KB is controlling ULB, okay, during his phase 3. So, that happens, and I think, this is going to sound very dumb, but I think KB uses like 6 determination syringes or something, but I don't know. I'm just trying to do this from memory. And then, of course, everyone else enters their phase 3. Not much happens there. Yeah, I mean, so that is everything. Phase 4, what's happening there? Phase 4 is split into 2 parts, okay? So, during part 1, Beta... No, okay, so Finale for the Bonely one in his overload state, and Anival Agam fuse, okay, to make Beta Orion's Regal, or something like that. I don't know how to say it. I hope I did it right. So yeah, they fuse, that's the Anival Agam fusion of the bunch. And then, Devastating Judgment, Killer, and oh my god, I forgot Former Insanity's phase 3. I mean, not much happens during that phase 3. It's just a normal Insanity phase 3, so don't worry about it. So yeah, Insanity, Devastating Judgment, and Killer fuse to make Annihilator. Now, this is going to... So basically, I'm going off the newest continuity, because they scrapped and remade a lot of stuff, so just bear with me here, okay? So they fused to make Annihilator, okay? And it goes as normal. So then Phase 3 Part 2 starts. Well, no, Phase 4 Part 2. This Phase 4 is split into 3 parts, from what I know. Part 3 has not been released, so just expect me to skip over that. During Phase 3 Part 2, what would normally be Ultra Time Goes by Chaos, so a new version of Ultra joins for Phase 3 Part 2. This is Ultra VHS. I don't know how to say his name, I'm not even going to try to say his name, but Ultra VHS joins, and Undertale Last Stand joins. I do not know either of the stories for either of these, so I'm not going to explain it. So they join, and KB is doing more of his stuff, you know, his karma stuff. And Call of the Void, Time Goes by Chaos, revives Tears in the Rain from Phase 1. Tears in the Rain, from what I know, I don't know if he absorbed Betrayer or KB's soul, but he's able to summon them as like stands or something to help him fight. Okay, I can continue now. He's able to summon them to help him fight. And he summons Betrayer and KB from Chaotic Time Machine. And, oh yeah, I forgot to say, Sensational Finale, if you remember, he got his arm cut off. So, he ends up using a floating Gaster hand as his new arm. That doesn't make any sense, but yeah. Um, so, during this, everyone from Chaotic Time Trio Time goes by Chaos is fighting, and Sensational Finale sacrifices himself to 1v1 the human, and he ends up dying mid-phase 4, and Undertone Last Stand comes to help him, and Last Stand gets slashed and sent to phase 2. And that should be everything from the main storyline. This is already a 30-minute recording. So yeah, that is everything from the main story. Except for phase 5. Now, there is going to be multiple phase 5s. So, from the only phase 5 that has been released so far, basically, oh my god, I forgot. Scrap the whole phase 5 thing. So, at the end of phase 4 part 2, of course, Last Stand is slashed, and Annihilator absorbs these 6 human souls to try to stay with it, and basically he goes Super Saiyan, okay? So then we get complete Annihilator. Yeah, basically that's what happens. And then, for phase 5s, so far what has been released, there is a old phase 5, which I will get to, and the new phase 5, where everyone dies except for VHS Ultra and Annihilator, and they try to 1v1 the human, and of course they lose. By the way, VHS Ultra has a Sano for some reason. I don't know how strong he is. I presume he's probably the strongest right behind Annihilator, but that's besides the point. And then there's a scrap phase 5, which I will get to in the next section. Okay, let me just pause this. Okay, so as far as scrap phase 5s go, for context, instead of VHS Ultra joining and instead of VHS Ultra joining and and Last Stand, they are joined by Underswap, Papyrus, and Ultra Time goes by Chaos, which is Ultra with some code from VHS and Finality of the World. Are you starting to see what I mean when I said it doesn't make a lot of sense? Thank God they tried to, at least it's kind of explainable now. But yeah. And during the phase 5, Tears in the Rain absorbs Call of the Void Soul, and you get the fusion of White Hole Trapped Light Star, which from my memory, let's see if I can get this, is Anavolagum, Finale for the Lonely One, Warned, M87, I think Water, and Head to Head. I probably got all of those wrong. But yeah, that's the fusion. And other than that not much happens. So yeah, that is Ending Time Octet Time Goes by Chaos. this makes absolutely no sense. I just want you guys to know that. So yeah, I got a lot of this off of, well, I mean, you can get most of it from just watching the videos. I will link a playlist or something that I find download with every video, and I got most of it. Shout out Sad Times All Around, because his video, he does most of the time goes by chaos, converting stuff over to YouTube. So yeah, that's basically everything. I am not going to explain KTT time goes by chaos and every other time goes by chaos thing, but yeah, that is mainly the lore of what's going on. I hope you guys have a great day. I will see you later. Like and subscribe, comment something if you enjoyed the video, and have a good day.